Welcome to another Chef Knives to Go Quick Look product review. I'm Steve Gamache, and in this edition we're checking out a classic thin cleaver. This is the CCK 1303 small thin cleaver, and this is a classic example of the style. This is, I believe, Chinese made, and the steel, I did some research but can't find a lot about the steel, but so we're just going to call it carbon steel. And heat treat, couldn't find that either, so I'm going to guess it's in the 58, 60 range. Could be a little less than that. I'm not 100% sure, but that's my guess. The construction is just a big honking piece of reactive carbon steel. So it's a monosteel construction. And the weight on the knife is fairly significant, but that's the part of this style is to help the blade do the work. So it's tall, thin, and it's got some mass at about 10.5 ounces. And the blade length is 210 millimeter on the edge, so it's a pretty good sized piece of steel. The overall length was about 12.4 inches, so it's got kind of a short, stubby barrel handle that does its job well. The spine thickness at the back of the blade, right where the handle is, or the handle is attached to the back of the blade, is about 3.3 millimeters, and then it does thin out. I'll show you a close-up, but it thins out a fair amount. It has almost a distal taper to it, really. Almost continuous to about 1.9, about halfway down. So it thins out nicely. The blade height is about 90 millimeters, and handle type, we'll just call it wood. So this is a no-frills knife, a little bit rough around the edges, but definitely classic, as I said, in this style. Let's take a close-up look at it. So on the left side of the blade, you've got the nomenclature and the embossed information on there, and the right side of the blade is just basically plain. You've got Kuda-uchi finish, and then you've got lacquer over the top of that. So the out-of-the-box edge felt pretty sharp, but it really wasn't because the lacquer went all the way down to the edge. So a light sharpening out of the box turned this into a screaming sharp knife. So the steel sharpened up really well for me, and these get really thin. See if we can show you that, but they get real thin at the edge. So that's what you call thin, folks. So this is not a heavy cleaver for chopping through bones or anything. This is a cleaver for more softer product work and where you need something thin and sharp. Balance point is way up here, so we won't worry about that a whole lot, but balance point was way out there, and if you hold it like this, you'll get, fairly weight-forward balance to it, which is the whole purpose of this style of knife, so you let the blade do the work. Profile is quite flat. Let's take a look at it. So again, this is not a cleaver for heavy use in chopping up chickens. This is a cleaver for more delicate work and precision work. So here's the profile on this. You got a little bit of belly towards the back, and a little bit towards the front, and then a flat section in the middle. So you can do a little bit with this. Got a little bit of wriggle room there for tweaking your technique a little bit. You don't have to come perfectly straight down with the blade necessarily. So fit and finish is where you hold the knife is actually pretty good, better than a lot of more expensive knives I've seen. And so you get a little bit of relief right here where your fingers go, and also on the spine. And so in terms of grip area, it's quite comfortable. And again, it does have a lacquer finish on top of the Kuda-uchi over the top of the core carbon steel. So once that wears away, you'll get some reactivity out of it. And again, out-of-box edge bevel is actually pretty nice, but the lacquer covered it, so a quick trip to some stones will clean that lacquer off, and you can get a great sharp edge on this thing. So there you have a classic representation. If you want to try out a small cleaver, this would be a really good one to do. To do that. So there you have the CCK 1303 small thin cleaver.